Today I'm going to be creating listing photos for a new digital product that I'll be posting on Etsy. And I thought I would take you along my creative process. I've been selling digital products since 2018, and I remember the listing photos being quite the tall order. But since that time, I have created a system that really makes the process not only much easier, but really fun as well. So let's grab ourselves a cup of coffee or a cozy beverage, and let's plan and design together. Okay, so before we get into it, I want to go over what actually makes listing photos convert, because it's not just high quality visuals. There is consumer psychology that goes into it. And basically at the core of your listing photo designs, what you're doing is taking a shopper on a journey. You're taking them from interested prospect to someone who is actually interested in buying your product. So here are the 6 details that I include, starting with the big promise slide. And this is basically sharing your big benefit, transformation, or result that your shopper will receive if they purchase your product. But it's not enough to just say that. You need to actually prove it. And that's where features and benefits come in. So these slides are breaking down the components of your product to back up the big promise you made in the previous slide. Then you have the comparison slide, which is showing shoppers how you are different and better than other options on the market. And then lastly, we have clarification, certainty, and connection. And these 3 details help you handle objections. So you are reducing friction, answering questions, and you are building more trust so your shoppers actually feel comfortable and confident to purchase. So these are the 6 details, and I usually present them in this order, but just because I present them in this order doesn't mean I create them in this order. So that's your permission to create out of order and just start with the slide that has the least resistance. So now that you understand the high level strategy, let's get into what I'm actually selling. Introducing what I'm selling Pinterest pin templates for Instagram template sellers. I know, it's very specific, very niche, but I just noticed for me, selling generic stuff just doesn't work anymore. So I'm selling this very niche product, and it also comes with a strategy guide. I used to sell Instagram templates, and these were actually viral pins when I was selling Instagram templates. So they're proven to actually perform on Pinterest. So that's a great value proposition. So now we're gonna get into creating the actual listing photos, and I wanna share with you how easy I've made this for myself. So I've created a template pack of listing photos that are organized by the 6 main details. I also created this AI copy prompt spreadsheet that does the heavy lifting of the copywriting for me. So I put my information here, it spits out prompts, and then I put those prompts into ChatGPT, and by the end of it, I have basically all my copy written. So these 2 resources really help me with the heavy lifting of creating my listing photos. You don't 100% need these, but if you do want these resources, link down below is a product that I created called Prime for Purchase, and it includes these 2 resources and more. So check that out if you're interested. So now I'm gonna fill out these cells and run my prompts through ChatGPT, and then I'll meet you back here when the copy is all completed. Okay, the copy is completed. Now we're gonna get into the very first listing photo, which is the big promise slide. So as a recap, the big promise slide calls out the big major transformation or result that your shopper will get if they purchase your product. This is very important. You wanna make your big statement right off the bat so they're hooked. And so what you're gonna need is a big benefit or promise statement, and then a mock-up that represents your product, or at least the most important pieces of it. So if you wanna pause this video, you can take a look at these formulas, but ChatGPT already created a bunch of these for me, so I'm gonna pick my favorite one. I'm thinking about using a template that looks like this. So I'm gonna go play around with it, and I'll explain my thought process once I'm done. Let's get into creating the big promise slide. Okay, I really like how it came out. I have the big benefit statement over here, which says go viral on Pinterest with scroll stopping save worthy pins. I have the mock-up of the main feature that they're coming to this listing for. And then this is backing up how these templates will actually help them go viral, because I'm calling out that they were derived from pins that actually helped me go viral. And I have some stats here. Okay, so now we are jumping into the feature and benefit slides, and this is to back up our big promise slide. So I'm breaking down the components of my product. So the pins, the type of pins and why they work, the strategy guide and why it's gonna help them. So it backs up the big promise. I'm gonna break it out. One slide is going to be about my pins and the next one's gonna be about the strategy guide. All right, so let's get into it. Let's create these feature and benefit slides. Right now, I'm just organizing the PNG files of my Pinterest pin templates on a blank sheet and adding a drop shadow for some depth. Now I am copying and pasting them into this template of choice, and next I will write out the features and benefits on the slide. Okay, so overall, the benefit is 12 viral pins, and you turn your product photos into clickable pins to drive traffic. So that's gonna probably go at the top somewhere, and then I'm going to break out the two different types of pins. So we have the inspirational product pins, and we have the educational product pins. So I'm gonna go ahead and call out that feature, and then the benefit of those types of pins. So let's go. Okay, so this is pretty much what it's gonna look like. I'll probably tweak it just a little bit so it's aesthetically pleasing. I'll figure out some of the formatting. So that's our feature and benefit slide. All right, we're getting there. So I have my features and benefits slide done for the strategy guide. We have the feature call out here. We have a picture of the feature, and then we break down the benefits, what they're gonna learn inside the guide. So backed by 6 years of viral Pinterest growth and profiting on Pinterest, I thought that went perfect here. And now let's head into creating the comparison slide. So the goal of including comparison details is to emphasize what makes your offer different and better than competitors. It's so they can clearly see why yours is the obvious choice by highlighting how yours is better in ways they care about. So what we're going to create is a them versus us slide. It's a side-by-side comparison showing our competitors' weaknesses versus our strengths. And so if you need help with this, you can pause this video and ask yourself these questions, and or you can do this pro tip, which is basically go to competitors, look at their negative reviews, and that's how you can get data and information. That way you can create this comparison slide a lot easier. So now let's get into the montage of me creating this for my product, and if there's anything I have to share along the way, I'll make sure to let you know my thought process. So I'm starting with creating an example of a very standard generic looking pin that is basically going to be something similar to what competitors are offering. And this is just going to help them see the juxtaposition with what is out there versus what I'm selling. Now I'm adding the bullet points that ChatGPT helped me craft. Of course, I'm going to be tweaking the copy a little bit so it's more in my voice. Okay, so this is basically what it looks like. If I add anything else or tweak anything, you'll see the final results, but this is the comparison slide. And now we are going to go on to the next slide. The next thing we're going to get into is tackling objections. So if you remember, in order to tackle objections, we have 3 different details that kind of cover that. That's clarity, certainty, and then connection. So right now I'm going to work on clarity. And so a confused mind doesn't buy, and this is all about reducing friction and addressing objections, answering FAQs, sharing how it works, and clearing up really any confusion that would stop people from purchasing. So one that I'm gonna do is a how it works slide. So since this is a template that you can edit, change colors, and all that kind of stuff, I'm gonna show that to them through a demonstration of how it works. So I'm gonna go find my template that I'm gonna use for this, for the base. You know, we're gonna start on a blank page. That's what we're gonna do. So let's see. This one maybe? Yeah, this one's good. So now I actually have to go find this template in my template pack and change all the colors so I can show them how you can change all this stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. I'm actually using the branding palette that comes with Prime for Purchase, so I don't have to think about fonts and colors. I already have a bunch of them that I like mapped out. Okay, so it looks pretty different. So we're going to use this. I'm going to export this and then put it into my listing photo. Okay, let's just make sure it's the same size. There we go. Okay, so here we have my demonstration slide of how you can change and customize everything within the template pack. So here's the example, and here are the callouts that tell them exactly what they can do in Canva. Okay, so I want to explain how my brain works right now, because I'm thinking about how they are noticing there's only 12 templates that my offer has versus other people who are selling dozens of templates. I really want to show them how they can take one template and make it into 10 different fresh pins so they don't feel like they're getting less. Okay, so with that being said, on the next slide, I am calling out that they can mix and match the elements in their templates that they're provided with, and they can create unlimited amount of fresh pins for Pinterest. And so this is helping them see that they can create way more than the 12 Pinterest pin templates that they're provided with. One thing that I also worked on was the FAQs. So the way I look at FAQs is, yes, you can actually put frequently asked questions in the FAQ section, but you can also use it to reiterate your unique value proposition or cover things that you think they might be worried about in the back of their head. And so that's what I did here. I made sure that I'm covering things that maybe I didn't mention in my other slides that they might be curious about, but also that I called out my unique value proposition and anything that I still think might be holding them up from buying. If you want to read through these to see what I did here, you can pause it. And so now the last slide that I'm going to be ending on is the connection slide. And this is because people come to Etsy to buy from small businesses and real people. So we want to use that to our advantage, and I like to do that by creating a slide that basically says, hi, I'm a human, adding a photo of myself here, and then my social handle here, or if I have a freebie, I'll advertise my freebie here as well. This is doing multiple things, okay? It's building connection, showing that you're human. You can even talk a little bit about your expertise, but you can also use this to take people off of Etsy. So you can grow your social media or your email list, and this just helps you future-proof your business. So all in all, we have all our slides. So the big promise slide, then we have the features and benefits slides. We have the demonstrations showing them how it works. Not everything has to be in exact order. So we have the features and benefits slide for the guide here, the comparison slide, FAQs, the connection slide, and then we're done. I might go back in and add some slides or tweak things. It doesn't have to be done completely before you launch it, but I think this is good enough. If you want to skip the trial and error and you want exactly the things that I used in this video, then you can go check out Prime for Purchase. I'll link it down in the description box. It's gonna give you everything you need to create high converting listing photos, just like I did here today. I hope it was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments section, and I will catch you guys in the next one.